Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe before you leave, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. So thank you to everyone that have stayed with me since I started, I think in February 2022, and this is January 2023. So this was the first video I posted on my channel. Okay, a video on the 3-layered abaya. So that's why I wanted to start the new year with another video on it. So in this video, I'm just going to be giving you tips on how to cut and sew it without getting shorter edges on any side, because I've been seeing a lot of people where the front side is shorter than the other side, or one side is shorter. But as you can see, these three sorry guys, these three abayas that I'm showing you, all of them, they have the same edges, starting from that one that is just 2 layers, and then these ones that are 3 layers. As you can see, I'm just showing you guys how my abayas all have edges, like the same edges, like the front side is not shorter than the back side, and the back side is not shorter than the sides. I believe this all boils down to how you cut your abaya. Okay, the main thing is from cutting it. A lot of people are not patient enough to cut it properly and then to arrange it properly for sewing. That's why you end up having uneven edges or uneven parts. So here I'm trying guys, I tried to take this video outside, but it's so breezy and then there are a lot of trees there, so that's why it's just a mess here. So as you can see here, this is like the normal thing. I don't want to stay a lot on here because guys, you are just going to fold it into two, then into a triangle, then you are going to lay it flat. Now if you've watched my other videos, from here I'll just say, okay, place how long you want your abaya to be, and that's it. But as you can see here, I folded it again. From the normal triangle that I'll just cut out the length, here I folded it again. This will give you more control over the edges, because as you can see, what you are going to be cut will not be as wide as the other way that I've been cutting it. If you understand what I'm saying, it will be better for you to cut it like this, because like this, I think it has 8 layers than the other 4 layers that you normally cut it. So as you can see, I fold it again from the normal triangle that then I used an iron to hold down the top, because this is chiffon guys. This abaya is made using chiffon fabric. It will move. You have to get things that would hold it down for you. Okay, and I don't recommend you just, if you want to make this abaya, you just watch this video. Please start from my other videos. It will be easier for you to understand, because this is just tips on how to get equal edges. So like I was saying, it is chiffon, it will move, so you have to find your way to hold it down. That's why I used the iron and I used those 3 pillows, so that I can lay it down and then it will stay still for me to cut. And even moving your tape from one part of the abaya to the other part and measuring, even that can make you have uneven edges, in such a way that you move your tape, and then maybe, since the chiffon fabric is also slippery, the tape too will be moving. It won't stay still. So that's why I'm also using my iron to hold down my tape, so that the top of the tape is at the top of the abaya, and then when I move the tape, it will not move from the top. I hope you guys get what I'm saying, but then just from watching you can understand what I'm saying. So that's what I have done. I've just cut out 2 layers of the abaya. The process is the same thing, cutting the 2 layers and the 3 layers. So after cutting it, as you can see here, I'm just applying pins to hold down the open part of the abaya, where the abaya will be open. That's what I just did. I used pins to hold down the 2 layers so that they won't move. Here I'm going to place my shoulder measurement. I'm placing both the shorter layer and the longer layer together, and then I'm going to use an iron to hold them down. You see? Can you see? Yeah. Because even from here, when cutting your shoulder, you can end up cutting your shoulder in such a way that your shorter layer will have a longer armhole than the top layer. Then even from there, you see, when sewing it, then you end up having one layer will be shorter than the other layer, or one part of the abaya will be shorter than another part. So I just held them down together. Then I'm going to open my shoulder, so sorry, my armhole. So for armhole I used 11 inches. As you can see, that's what I'm showing you guys. Then from the remaining fabric where I had cut out my abaya, I'm folding this fabric so that I can cut out my belt, and that little, that little layer, where should I say layer, no, it's just a belt that I add at the open part of the abaya. Though you would have seen it from other abayas, or even from the thumbnail you would see it. So that is what I'm just cutting out here. So you see, that's how I'm going to attach it to the open part of the abaya. Now the next thing we are going to do is cut out our hand sleeves. Even from the hand sleeves, guys, a lot of people make mistakes where you'll see that the hand sleeves are not equal. So that is, they don't have a full round. The edge doesn't have a full round edge. So it's the same process too. I'm going to make sure that I fold it well. In fact, guys, when you make it like this into this triangle, I would suggest you use pins to hold it down before you even cut. Okay, if you're not comfortable just using something, using like an iron to hold it down, you can use your pins to hold it together, then use an iron to hold it. I hope you get me, guys. So as you can see, every time I move the tape, I'm also using my hand to hold it down at the top so that all edges are equal. Okay, yeah. So I'm just cutting it out, and here I'm making, that was the shorter hand sleeve. Here I'm going to cut out my long hand sleeve. You see, it's the same process. It's chiffon, guys. You need a lot of patience. Arrange it, make sure you do it properly. Okay, you need to be very careful. You are not going to just, when you are tired, don't do this, because they're just going to get frustrated. So make sure, and it's not like you can use another fabric to make this, guys, because if you use something like, I don't know, crepe, or I don't know, any other fabric, you will end up having a heavy abaya. So chiffon is the best fabric to really make this. Okay, so you just need patience to do this. And then after doing that, as you can see, I'm going to arrange my shorter hand sleeve, then my longer hand sleeve. Can you see? Then I applied a pin to the top. You see? Yes, that's what I did. I applied the pin to the top and then held them together. Then I'm going to hold together the shorter sleeve together. Make sure that the two parts of the hand sleeve are equal, then use your pin to hold them down together. This will prevent you from having a situation where one part of your sleeve will go up and then one part will go down. If you've made this abaya, I'm sure you'd have seen what I'm saying, or you'd understand what I'm saying. Then after holding together the shorter sleeves, I'm going to use another pin to hold that shorter sleeve to the longer sleeve so that it will be in one position when I'm stitching. Okay, that's just what I'm showing you, guys. Make sure you use your pins to hold it together. So here I'm also going to show you if you want to stitch and you are not too sure about your hand, even if you are sure, because I still do this, guys. I do this and I've made a lot of this abayas. You see, I'm just going to use a pin to hold the two hand sleeves to the shoulder or to the armhole of the abaya. Can you see? That's what I just did, and I'm going to do it throughout. You see, I'm going to use another pin. 3 pins is enough for each side of the armhole. Can you see? I'm just going to add another one, then I'm going to add another one. Can you see? But make sure that you've arranged them properly. They are on the same line, the two sleeves and the armhole. Make sure they are on the same line, then use a pin to hold them, so that when you are stitching, and use that pin very close to the edge of the fabric, so that when you are stitching, you don't have to remove the pins. You can just stitch after you are finished stitching, then you take off your pins. But make sure you apply your pins, and that's what I'm just doing, using my pins to hold down the hand sleeves to the armhole. Round the two armholes first. Apply your sleeves using pins, then you stitch, and don't remove your pins until you are done stitching, because it will just counter effect it when you remove your pins before stitching, because they'll just move. It's chiffon, it will definitely move. It must move. Okay, that's just how the fabric is. So can you see? I'm just showing you guys. It's like I've stitched it, but I just used pins to hold it. And another advice is please iron your fabric before you do this, because sometimes you are too lazy because it will be a lot of fabric. If you're making the 3-layered abaya for like someone that is 58 inches tall, you would need at least 10 yards of fabric. So you see, it's a lot of fabric. So please, I would advise that you get a fabric that is not very squeezed before doing this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I just applied that hand sleeve using just pins. Can you see? I'm just showing you, then you stitch. And that's all for the tips that I'm giving for this abaya. So please make sure you try it out, and then when you do, make your abaya, and you can please tag me when you I'm on Instagram. It's the same handle, Bib Style. So when you do that, please make sure that you tag me so that I can see, and my DM is always open. There are some people that have sent me a few abayas and dresses for me to recreate, but honestly I've not had the time to do it, but I will try and make time to make more videos for you guys. So thank you for staying tuned with me. Thank you for the journey, and we are going to continue. I have more dresses and abayas for you guys, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't, share my videos, like. Thank you.